Hey everybody, Tiffany Malott here with the three-way training video. I'm going to share with you the 5 W's and the H of a three-way call. You may be wondering what those are, so let's get started. The first W is what? What is a three-way call? Well, a three-way call, by my definition, is a brief continuation of the exposure process. In this training, I'm going to talk about how to use a three-way call to further the exposure process, to get your prospect from your enthusiasm and a third-party tool to an event. So in this definition, the three-way call is a brief continuation of the exposure process. So that's the first W. The second W is why do we use three-way calls? Well, we use three-way calls because third party is the best party. It's always best to remove yourself from the equation. When we're talking to our warm market or hot market, our friends, family members, coworkers, and neighbors, they know us already, and they don't know us as relationship marketing professionals. They know us as, in my case, a jelly maker. So it's better for us to humble ourselves, move ourselves from the equation, and let a third-party expert do the talking for us. Not because we're not smart, not because we're not articulate, and not because we're not passionate, but because third party is the best party, and our prospects will listen to someone else instead of us. Sorry guys, that's just how it is. So the first reason why we use a three-way call is third party is the best party. The second is because it duplicates. Everyone can do a three-way call. Everyone can humble themselves, remove themselves from the equation, and allow someone else to do the invitation for us. So it is third party is the best party. It duplicates. And the third reason is it's something everyone can do. We all can get someone on the line. We all can get someone who relates to our prospect to do the invitation for us. So why do we do a three-way call? Because third party is the best party, because it duplicates throughout your organization around the world, and because it is something we all can do. So we've done the what and we've done the why. Let's talk about the next W, and that's the when. When do we do a three-way call? Well, I believe you should do a three-way call only after your prospect has seen or heard a third-party tool. I think the first exposure should be you, your enthusiasm, your passion, your belief. That's great, but then you should share with them a third-party tool. It could be a recorded call. It could be a website. It could be a video, but they should see and hear something first. And then after that, this is when you use your third-party expert. This is when you do a three-way call. And the reason why you're going to do it after they've seen a tool is so your expert doesn't have to be the salesperson. They don't have to be the pitch person. They don't have to do the talking. They can lean on the system, which duplicates, but they also cannot be a salesperson trying to convince or persuade your prospect to be interested. They can go after what the prospect has seen and help the prospect decide if they want to see more. So when, after they've seen or heard a third-party tool. Now, the next is, where do you do a three-way? Well, with technology today, you can do a three-way anywhere. You can do a three-way at home in your living room. You could do it in the car, and you could do a three-way while you're playing in the park while you're playing with your kids. So where is not a big deal. It's just that you're doing them. And then the final W is who. Who is involved in a three-way call? Well, it's going to be you. It's you, and then you're going to have your prospect, and then you're going to have your third-party expert. And so that's it. So let's quickly talk about the role of everyone. So you are bringing the prospect and the expert together, and then you have your prospect who's looking to learn more, basically, and going through the exposure process. So we're sorting them through the system. And then you have your third-party expert. And then your third-party expert is basically going to help do the invitation to remember, further the exposure process. So now that we know the 5 W's, it's time for the H. It's time to know how to do a three-way call. The first thing we have to know about doing a three-way call is how to use it on our phones. A lot of people want to do a three-way call and then right at the last minute try to figure it out on their phones. So let's learn first how to use it on our phones. So I'm going to use this phone, and I'm going to start off by calling my prospect, okay? So it's calling my prospect. You guys can see that? Now that it's calling my prospect, you can see this little button here. It says add a call. So now I'm going to push that to add a call. I'm then going to call the next person, which is John Malott. And so now you can see that it is Tiffany Malott is on hold, and we're now calling John Malott. Now that both parties are dialed, now I'm going to use this and I'm going to merge the calls, all right? So now it's Tiffany and John on the call, as it should be. And so now I can do a call there. Both parties are on the phone, and now we know how to use this. Before you do your first call, before you do your second one, make sure you're very comfortable with it, because there's nothing worse than hold on a minute, oh, I'm not used to this phone. It just isn't a good look. So, okay, we now know how to use three-way conferencing on our phones. The next thing we have to do on how to do a great three-way call is we have to schedule it. This is extremely important to me because it gives the expert a chance to be there for you. Too often people call their experts at the last minute. They scheduled their time. They took care of their prospect's time, but they didn't really focus on the expert's time. And then they start trying to dial and the expert's not there. And then they're upset with the expert when really we could have controlled this whole situation by scheduling it. So schedule your three-way call. Just make sure everyone's on the calendar. Make sure you have a time to follow up with your prospect. Make sure you've called some experts to see who could call, who could be available at that time, and put it in a calendar. That way everyone can be there and your expert has a chance to support you. The next thing you want to do now that it's on the calendar is you want to edify your expert to your prospect. And you want to do this without your expert on the phone. So it's very embarrassing, and I'm sure for a lot of other people who've been the expert, for someone to edify their expert with them sitting there like you made that person say it. So edify them before they even get on the phone. So just talk to your prospect. Maybe it's right before the call. Maybe it's some time before the call, but edify your expert. And what does edify mean? It means to build up. It means to basically brag on your expert. It basically means to brag on them. And yes, I said brag. I know in our society, we don't do that, but we undermine the power of building each other up by being so critical of each other and not having good things to say. And you building up your expert actually builds you up, because what you do duplicates, and it also says, I'm around some amazing people. You want to be around them too. So edify your expert to your prospect. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to give your expert information on your prospect, and you're going to give it through FORM. FORM is an acronym for family, occupation, recreation, and motivation. So you're going to give it through FORM, and you're going to let them know about their family, their job, their recreation, and what drives them. You'll hear some people say money instead of motivation, but I don't believe that money motivates everybody. So family, occupation, recreation, motivation. This allows your expert to hit hot buttons in the conversation, but also relate and build rapport with your prospect without even having to ask a lot of questions. All right, so now that we've scheduled it, now that we've edified, and now that we have given FORM, the next thing to do is to get them on the phone. So when they're on the phone, let me just quickly say what everyone's role is. As the agent, your role is to bring the two together, the expert and the prospect together. You and your prospect have trust. You and your expert have respect. When you bring your prospect and your expert together, they have mutual trust and respect because of you. So you're bringing everyone together. Your role is to edify the expert and make sure that the expert knows information on the prospect. After you introduce them, mute yourself out. You are not to correct, you're not to engage, you're not to interact, you're not to talk, you're just supposed to disappear. You're introducing two people and you're stepping back so they can get to know each other. You are to stay quiet, and then when the call is over, thank your expert for their time and get off the phone. Tell the prospect you'll see them at the event or you'll call to confirm, but get off the phone. You are not to drag the call on longer as if your expert didn't do what they were supposed to do. As the prospect really is just supposed to listen and learn and make a decision if they want more information. And the expert, your job really is to relate to the prospect, tell your story and invite them to the next exposure. That's basically it. And guys, that is why a three-way call works so well. It duplicates even better, but also it's only 3 to 5 minutes because everyone's not explaining what was already explained because it is after the third-party tool. The expert is not selling or pitching the company. They are just merely connecting, building rapport, and inviting them to take a look at more information. And the agent, after the expert has finished their part and turned it back over, the agent is just grateful and is ending the call and not dragging it on and adding more information as if the expert didn't know what they were doing. I hope this helps. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure you learn it, you love it, and you live it because the world definitely needs it. Talk to you soon.